Thinking Finger Cat here. I am going to play with my paper pumpkin kit again. So even though it's only a couple of days since I made these two cards, which are pretty much following the vague plan of what they've designed for the kit, I think it's time to play again because it's a really sweet kit to use. I really like it. I love these gold die cuts, the linen thread in the cherry cobbler. Absolutely love it. And I think the stamps are really sweet as well. So the last video where I showed how I made those, I also did the unboxing of a sort of the video and showed you everything that was in it. After that, I just shoved everything in the box, so it's all a bit of a mess. So let's start with a card blank. Let's go for that one. And I'm really not going to go and look at the instructions or anything else. I have seen a fair number of what other people have done with it, so I have got other people's ideas in my head, which unfortunately I'm not really going to credit because of the fact that I can't remember where I've seen them. But I've got a Pinterest, is it called a channel? Pinterest channel? Pinterest profile? Don't know, but I have got a Pinterest thing, so if people want to go and look, I've pinned a few things, but to be honest, I'm not going to look at them right now. So there's no attempt to copy anyone, but apologies if actually I'm stealing an idea that somebody else has used. I'm kind of not like that about crafting. I don't care if somebody else wants to duplicate what I've done. I do try to give credit where I am really genuinely trying to copy something, but other than that, I can't be bothered because I don't tend to follow instructions very well. So even if I was attempting to follow what someone else has done, I tend to do it wrong. Or tend to follow my own thing and not do anything else. Right, I've removed the last of the flowers from that particular sheet, so I'm going to stick the sheet in the bin before I'm tempted to keep that tiny scrap of cardstock. And then I have to say there's multiple people have done the same thing in terms of saying this is paper, this is beautiful design series paper, don't waste it in an envelope. So I have seen other people do the same as I'm about to do, which is start chopping it up. Okay, it doesn't fit in the little trimmer. Didn't think of that, did I? Okay. Bit trimmer out. Okay. I only want a little scrap for this particular project, so the oh, can't get my trimmer back in the drawer. Everything's so tightly crammed. There's a special way of putting them in, and if you don't quite do it right, it doesn't work. Back to my little trimmer that I love using because it's so easy to use. And I'm just gonna chop off those white bits. I'm not really thinking about which parts of the paper I want to focus on because I know it's too wide, and I am going to go with a vertical design, and I'm wondering, do I only want it to be that wide, or do I want it to be wider, or not quite as wide? I think about there. So I am not measuring at all, but that's turned out to be what, about just over 9 centimeters. For anybody who does wish to copy, absolutely go for it. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. There's another piece that will go back in the box until I have finished using this kit. Now, I love these gold things. So, do I go for another gold? Do I go for love? No, because I think love could be used at any other time, couldn't it? I think we go for joy. I did want to use joy last time we did this, and I didn't end up using it because the piece was already coming out as die cut. So let's go joy, and then maybe find the stamp set. I must remember to go back and get the dot for the eye. Do you want to go joy to the world? I think that would be cute, wouldn't it? Joy to the world. Right. So those of you who saw the last video, I made a bit of a boo-boo when I was stamping and rocked when I used the small one, and it's because I'm using a small, too big a block. So my advice is don't use this size block when using little stamps, but I've clearly not thought about it, and this is the one that I've got out of the cupboard again. And now I'm too lazy to change it. Okay, I am, however, going to just pop this down here because I can't quite see where I'm straight. Well, it's not straight, doesn't matter. Oh, I've rocked again because, oh, I've got away with it this time. Because it's too big a block. That's why we don't advise you use a big block for stamping little stamps. Beautiful, love it. So, there we go, joy to the world. And you'll see what I do when I'm doing my card making is I don't glue anything down until I'm sort of happy with the arrangement. It doesn't mean it stays in that arrangement, but it just gives me an idea to balance it and have a sense of this is where I'm going with it. I really love this thread. Should I use the thread again? Maybe have a little bow going off that end. Why not? Why not indeed? Tell you what would be lovely with this is that gold thread that's in the Forever Greenery trim set. That would be lovely tied with it. I have seen that somewhere. Where have I seen that on? This is where I do attempt to give credit, because I think it was Martin. I think, is it Martin Mayhem or something like that? I can't remember what his name is. But he's part of the Artisan design team. And I do follow him on Instagram and Facebook, and he has some lovely ideas, really artistic kind of ideas. And I'm pretty sure it was him that said something about using the gold. Oh look, it's a good job I picked that up, isn't it? There was two in there. Let's not try and double up by accident. But yeah, I'm sure it was him that said about using the gold and the cherry cobbler threads together and how cool it would look. And I agree. Yeah. I am going to stick this one down. Perhaps a little premature, but because I started peeling the backing off the dimensionals, let's go for it. So I'm just going to put the 4 on. Yep, I'm going to be a little bit tidy and just snip the edges off so they don't interfere in any way. And then I think I am going to go with it up against the side a little bit. Probably not quite put that down straight. No, it's probably enough. Because I quite liked it when it was balanced towards that side. Right, next was this that was going to go across about there. So I'm going to use a dimensional just on the edge, but the rest of it I'm going to use glue as my adhesive of choice. The kit does come with these really cute little adhesive dots, but I just think I'm going to save those for when I really do need a tiny adhesive dot, for when I'm making cute bows and stuff like that. And I might as well just use my own adhesive. So we like that. Now, I think that and that would be good. So, are we going to put a little bow on there? I think we are. We're going to try and tie it before we trim it so that we don't waste any. Again, learnt my lesson from last time, where I somehow managed to create a really big weird knot. But I still managed to rescue it and use it on something else, on the second card, so it was okay. But I think if that was to go under there, that work? Do I think? Yeah, I like that. So this is where I am going to use one of these little adhesive dots, just because it's perfect for adhering that bit of twine to our sentiment panel, so we know it's not going to wriggle around and we can get it stuck down properly. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think that way. So again, I'm going to use my glue just to do the rest of the panel. But if I was using the glue and trying to stick the twine in place, that would get really annoying. Whereas there, I can stick it all down because I'm using quite a tacky glue. I'm just going to hold it in place for just a minute, but it should stick nicely. It is slightly raising at that side. I'm wondering if I actually have to just go for a dimensional. I think I'm going to go for a dimensional. Again, using a tacky glue, a wet glue, does give you wriggle room and does give you a chance to change your mind, which is good. And because it's now created a nice little mess underneath there, it doesn't matter because I'm about to cover it all up perfectly. There we go. Right. I think we glue and then have that sticking over there, maybe up here. Do we want it further up? Do we want it the other way around? Do you want it? I like it that way round. Okay. So again, I'm going to use my glue. And I'm not bothered about coating the entire die cut because it'll be enough regardless. There we go. Lovely, lovely. Okay, right, joy. So this is where I have to be careful not to put too much glue onto my little die cut letters because if it's splurged out, it's likely to just mark the foiling, and we don't want that because it's so cute. But I do need to be quite careful in getting this in the right place. There we go, because I want it to just tuck and I don't want the ribbon to get the thread to get caught up in it. There we go, lovely. Right, so I did say I've got to remember the dot, and I think that this is where I'm going to use this little adhesive dot because it's small, and the best way to do this is to keep it, I was going to say keep it in the die cut, but it's sort of fallen apart. That's not worked. Okay, the idea was to keep it in the die cut area. Taking the backing off. It's now sticky because I'm going to put the die cut back down so I know that I'm placing it in the right place. So you've got the right spacing between the letters and you don't get it sort of suddenly going all squiffy. And then, as per usual, I forgot to burnish my fold. And there we go. There's another one of the cards. So now I've got 3. One from this video, 2 from the previous video. We're using the kit, but in this case I've just gone and just made it as I went along, not really got plan in my mind in advance, but obviously I probably am using some beautiful inspiration that's out there already. If you search on Pinterest or just search Google, you'll find loads of Paper Pumpkin, Joy to the World kit examples out there where people have done alternatives. So dead happy with that. I do love the gold foil wording, and those card blanks are just stunning. I just think they're so nice. Makes a really special card, but super easy, super quick. So I think that's only taken me 14 minutes, including a bit of waffle. I'm going to crack on and do another one. I've got enough time today to do one more. So I think we'll go for the different card blank where the stripes are going a different way with the foiling. But I think we will go, yeah, we'll go that way this time. Now, do I want to use that in its entirety or not? I don't know. but I think we will go with the wreath. So I did explain in my last video how to line them up. So go back and check that out. But the inspiration for that came from, oh, Chelsea. And I can't remember her name. Bear with me. I came back, I've been and looked it up. It's Chelsea Christensen / Creative Chelsea is how she goes on YouTube, and it's this video. I just searched paper pumpkin wreath, and this is the one that came up first. Paper pumpkin alternative October 2020 kit, joy to the world, how I use the wreath stamp tips and tricks. And it's about 8 minutes that she gives you the indication as to how to mark your stamp and then where to line it up. So I marked my stamp as I was instructed, and then you should line it up so it sort of nestles this here, this little dot here, this one here, this little berry. Now on my other example, this one, probably can't tell a huge amount, but I did slightly stamp it off, so I'm going to try better on this one, but it might mean that my head gets in the way of the camera, so apologies. Big stamps, I always take the ink to the stamp when it comes to using these little stamping spots, which are just gorgeous little stamping ink pads. So as I say, I'm just gonna check where I'm at. Oh, am I all right with that? I think I'm okay. So apologies, it's off camera, but it's the only way I could do it to stamp it straight. Much happy with that. Much happy with that stamping. Okay. So it gives you, you've got a lighter colour of green underneath. I'm not sure what colour that would be. Possibly soft sea foam, maybe. Don't know. But anyway, that's the wreath. So I've still not decided how I'm going to lay it out, but I decided I wanted to use the wreath on this one. Since I'd used a flower on the other one. I'm wondering about that. Again, I want to use some of that lovely, what I would call designer series paper, because it is not worth wasting it in an envelope, in my opinion. So I'm just going to slice off the edges, and you can see there's quite a large piece of designer series paper there, and I'm just going to trim off the very edges where there's a fold in it. Those can go in the bin. The paper of the envelope is really nice paper, but it is paper, it's not cardstock, so it's not worth trying to use it as a stamping thing, I don't think. It might be quite nice as an inside of the card though, I'm wondering. Oh, I'm going to keep it now. Now I've said that, I'm going to keep it. Okay, as much as I love this paper, I love the gold foiling more, so I'm definitely going to cut this down and not use that much of it. So maybe we'll go for a 2-inch strip. Let's see what that looks like. That's nice. Actually, I think I just want to trim it a little bit more because I've got a little bit of a mini half word going on the edge, and I think nobody else will notice it, but I know it's there. That's better. It feels better. I'm wondering that one, or maybe one of the squares, I think. Yeah, I like that more. Now, I'm thinking a bow. And I think a cute bow on our wreath might need to be a little bit smaller than that. And maybe have its tails cut off a little bit. Maybe like so, and then a sentiment there. And I'm thinking the big Merry Christmas sentiment going across there. Maybe not. So that definitely looks like it's designed to go inside the card, so I think I'm going to have to do that and stamp the insides of the cards at some point before I start doctoring it, because I'm actually thinking that a little bit big for that maybe, but it would definitely fit Happy Christmas or wishing you a and then Merry Christmas maybe. I don't know. Ooh, lots of choices, but in this case I'm just going to go for Merry Christmas. Okay. Just put a stamp away. So my little notch goes on the little notch. Again, I'm not particularly careful about making sure that that's straight, although I don't want it on top of another stamp. That is going a bit ridiculous. Go. I didn't put the To the World away. Right. Merry Christmas. I couldn't work out where I'd put my stamp then. Okay. Because this is a slightly bigger sentiment, like the wreath, I'm just going to go to it with the ink rather than the other way around. Now I know I've caught the ink on the stamping block, so I just need to be careful that I don't rock the stamp. Don't rock the stamp, don't rock the stamp. There we go. So I'm just going to hold it in place, just let that ink soak in a little bit. There we go. Oh, it's gorgeous, gorgeous colour. I'm going to stick that away. I'm wondering whether to use that as well, but maybe trim it down and only have half of it coming out on the end. So I'm going to leave a larger tail in the box, have that coming out the end. Let's see what that looks like. Do we like that? I think we do. Not sure if I want my wreath on the top or underneath. I think I want him on the top. So I'm going to stick these things down. I'll start with the designer series paper, as it's now become. We are going to stick, whoops, I just want to stick this onto here. So I know it's secured. Hold that in place for the moment. And then we're going to stick our panel down. Ooh, I think we'll stick this one flat and we'll stick the sentiment or maybe just the wreath on dimensionals. Let's have a look. So let's go like so. Now, do we want... Definitely the wreath needs to be up on dimensionals. I'm wondering whether we need to do the sentiment as well. Let's go for it. Let's stick it up on dimensionals. We'll do 3, I think, just to keep it a bit more stable. Let me think about there. Right, so if we're going to stick it, shall we decide where the top is? Do we stick it at the top? Like, so that's how it is when we stamp it. Shall we go for the same? Yeah, I think so. And we'll stick a little adhesive dot just so it's underneath where we're putting our little twine bow. just going to trim the edges of that just slightly. It's gone a little bit longer than we needed. Cute though, super cute. Right, if we're doing that, we need to make sure that this corner where my finger is where we stick the glue, and then the rest of it will need some dimensionals, because we don't want it dimensional on the panel that's already stuck up. We want it to be at the same sort of level. That'll do nicely, so that when we turn it over, we are sliding that into there, and I believe jobs are good. Cute, absolutely lovely. So we have now 4 cards that have been made from the kit. So the 2 that are most similar to the instructions and how they've designed the kit originally with all the pieces, and then they were in the previous video that I did, and then this video we've done one with the wreath and one with the flower, but we've changed it up quite a bit using pieces of the envelope and turned that into a pattern paper, and just slightly changed up how it looks and how each card feels. So many ideas I've got as to how you can use this, and I did say on a previous video that there will be inspiration that I've taken from other people, because I've seen so many gorgeous designs, but I genuinely had no plan when I sat down as to what I was going to make and how they were going to look, so I wasn't attempting to copy anyone in doing that, but I imagine that other people will have similar ideas. But there are so many different ideas, and this is just using the pieces of the kit. The actual stamp set itself, I can imagine embossing and all sorts of stuff, but I think when you're using this particular kit, you want to make the most out of those gold die cuts and out of the embossed paper and stuff, and you don't really need a huge amount more adding to it. So really happy with how that went. And you know what's lovely about using a paper pumpkin kit is I'm just going to shove everything back in the box and close the lid. Oh, don't bend things, Catherine. I'm doing it off camera anyway, you can't see. I'm going to shove everything back in the box like so. Close the lid. All done. I tidied up. Look at that. Because the only thing that you're adding to the kits is a stamp block and maybe some scissors, maybe a balm folder and some glue, but my glue stays on the desk all the time. So yeah, love them. Love the paper pumpkin kit. I will probably be buying more if they come. They don't do them in the UK as often as they do in the States, unfortunately, but never mind. Right, I hope you enjoyed that little foray. I didn't expect to make 2 cards, but there you go. Surprised myself. Please do give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Leave a comment below and subscribe if you want to see more. No idea what I'm going to play with next. Possibly might do more paper pumpkin. Might not. Might choose something else to play with. We will see. So take care. Bye bye.